Hello everyone and welcome back to 48 Now. I'm digital host AJ Wiest, and the 48th annual Ellen McAnelly Memorial St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's coming back to Huntsville once again next Saturday, March 15th. And of course today I am joined with Miss Lisa Bollinger. She is the parade organizer this year. And of course Sonny Hereford, he is the organizer of last year's parade. How are y'all doing today?
Great,
Very
thank you.
good.
Doing very well. So talk about what worked well last year and maybe what didn't work well. And Lisa, maybe some new things we can expect to see this year?
Yeah, so the history is Sonny did the parade from what years?
96 through 2011.
Wow.
I was the coordinator.
He was the coordinator.
Right.
And then when we founded the Irish Society, I came along and Sonny said, "Hey, do you want to do this now?" So in a way, he happily handed it over, but look, he's still here. So he still does all our meetings, and he's our historian and takes care to make sure that we do all of Ellen's traditions and do the parade the way that she wanted it, because he knew Ellen.
Right. I worked with Ellen for many of those years until her unfortunate passing. I worked with her on the parade. So yeah, I'm in charge of protocol, if you will, and making sure that we honor the traditions.
Yes, absolutely. Talk about Ellen as a person. Like, how was she in your experience?
Oh, she was wonderful. She was so easy to work with. She was from Galway, Ireland, and of course, opened Finnegan's Pub in 1977, and the first St. Patrick's Day parade here was 1978.
Yes.
Now, I started the Notre Dame Club of Northern Alabama in '92, and I thought the Fighting Irish should be in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. So '93 was my first year of being involved. And then, unfortunately, the fellow who was organizing the parade back then passed away in '95, I believe it was. But '96, Ellen asked me to take over the parade. I was the only one who brought a laptop to the meeting, so she assumed that I was organized. So I ran it from '96 through 2011. And the Irish Society was formed, I believe, in 2010.
Yes.
And so I went to them, I said, "You guys should be doing this," and they were glad. They were looking for a signature project anyway. So I turned it over to them, and they've been running it since 2012, the Irish Society of North Alabama.
Yeah, that is so cool. So like over all the years of organizing this event and planning out the parade, what would you say is like the most difficult part, or a part you enjoyed the most?
Well, it's interesting because the parade started really small. The first one, like I said, was '78. There were 18 marchers in the parade, no vehicles at all. And I have a picture of that. The picture only has 17 people in it because one guy had to sneak away from work to be in the parade and didn't want to be in the picture. But what is interesting is it started off so small, no internet, no email, just phone calls and in-person visits, and it has grown now into something that is much, much larger with a lot more technology involved in coordinating the parade. But that's one of the challenges is when you get as many entries as we have, making sure that the communication is good. We have to have safety meetings with the people who are going to be in the parade. We have to have insurance now for the parade. Back then, when you had 18 or 25 people, that wasn't necessary.
Right. So you're a Fighting Irish graduate, Notre Dame. What brought you to Huntsville?
Well, I was actually born here, well, not born here, raised here. I was born in Indiana, but grew up here in Huntsville. So this is my home. I lived away 4 years at Notre Dame and then 6 years in upstate New York. And I've been back here since 1986.
Right. I take it you like it here?
Love it, love it here. And my family is here.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So I remember last year I was actually here at the station working, but I remember we had a photographer. He went out to the parade, and we saw a guy dressed in shamrock attire. He was on a penny farthing bicycle. Please tell me he's coming back this year.
So that's so funny. That's one of our great stories.
Okay.
5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer now, he was literally just looking for something to do. He's not from here. He's from Tennessee, and he lives kind of near Nashville. He looked up Nashville. They don't have a parade, and then he's like, "Oh, look, the great thing with the internet." he looked and he's like, oh, there's a parade in Huntsville. And he literally just showed up. Like, we didn't know he was coming. He showed up. And Ellen's thing is, all people can be in the parade. There's a spot for the people. So he joined in line and was in the parade. And he came up to us afterwards. He says, I'm going to be at everyone from now on. So he will be here again. He's here every year. And that's how it happened. He just showed up one year because he wanted to do something. And yeah, he's great.
That is awesome.
Yeah, last year he let there was a lacrosse team in the parade, and he let some of the guys try it when we were waiting before the parade started and stuff. So yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to have to go this year. I'm not working this year,
good.
so I'm going to have to see it for myself. But I remember seeing that, and I was like, dang, why am I at work right now? I want to be at the parade.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that come out for the parade, especially in the downtown square area. It's packed with people.
Right.
So it's a really good time.
Absolutely. So how long does it take to plan this parade?
It actually doesn't take as long as a lot of people think. A couple of months we start getting registrations in and things like that. Of course, you have to get your permits with the city early on. But everything else kind of happens. We always say we're going to get started before Christmas. We never do.
No.
It's always January. So, but at this point, so many people look forward to it and they love being in the parade. It's gotten a lot easier because they all sign up right away.
Right.
So we have, but even this year, I think there's like maybe 15 to 20 groups that have never done it before. So they must have been at last year's parade and decided, hey, we're going to try it out. So we're excited about that. And as people come year after year to be in the parade, they kind of up their game each year and do a little bit more. They get ideas from other groups. So that's really great. We have Irish dancers this year, and we have some live music and a lot of dance crews. So not a lot of marching bands, but a lot of dance crews. So that's, people love that, love all the music and seeing everybody dressed up. So.
The Celtic music and all that.
Yeah, we have. And then on the square, before the parade, there's a group called Sandy River Ramblers that just play while people are waiting. So that's nice too. It's a little hard for them to march and be in the parade. So they go and station there. And so it's a nice way to get the crowd ready.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. You always got to love some live music. Just go there and hang out and have some live music around you. It's a good time in my book, for sure. But talk about the history of the parade. I know 48 years now strong. It's still going on. Talk about like that very first parade.
Well, it was, I was not at the very first one. I have talked to a lot of people who were at that parade, but it was, Finnegan's Pub was on South Parkway, and they would get on the access road and they would march south under the, let's say they go down to Airport Road and under the overpass and then back north to, I think they call it the Useless Overpass, and then back to Finnegan's Pub. So it was a pretty short route back then. And I will tell you, in 48 years, we've never been rained out. We've always had the parade. Even a couple of years during COVID, we were not allowed to have a big parade, but we had a smaller parade here in Huntsville, over near the Campus 805.
Yes.
But this parade will always happen. Like nothing has happened yet that forced us to completely cancel the parade.
Right. Knock on wood.
Yes,
Exactly. Absolutely.
But
that is
one year,
amazing.
early in the history of the parade, when it was on South Parkway, it was overcast and threatening to rain, and I'm not kidding, when the last entry got off the access road and turned into the parking lot, officially ending the parade, the skies just opened up. But it waited until the parade was over before it started raining, so we've still never been rained out.
That is so amazing, especially like during this time of the year where weather is so unpredictable.
Absolutely.
That is
cold,
amazing.
It's been hot, but we've always had it.
A couple of years ago, there was snow overnight.
Yeah.
And so we really thought that this might be the one that isn't going to happen because you know what snow does around here.
Right.
But luckily it was so warm during the week, the snow kind of just melted when it hit the ground. And so it was cold. It was really cold. But the roads were fine, so we got to still have the parade. So that was good. It was so cold that year.
I'd imagine so, man.
Hot chocolate and coffee.
Yeah, it was freezing.
Yeah, I can imagine you just don't know what to expect. Like even our own meteorologists.
Right. And one year we all, it was so hot. It was probably in the 80s, which is hot for this time of year, and so you just never know what's going to happen. So
That's right.
But we roll with it. It's fine. As long as everybody plans accordingly.
Yeah.
That's
There
right.
is no bad weather, just bad planning.
That is right. That is a very good point there. So have y'all gotten the chance to go to Ireland during the celebration?
Not during St. Patrick's
Not-
Day.
okay.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, but I've never been for St. Patrick's Day. And actually, the St. Patrick's Day parade tradition started here in the States in the 1700s in Boston. So that tradition started here, and now in Ireland they kind of do similar stuff as we do here. So it's kind of funny how
It is
the Irish here
interesting, yeah.
inspired the Irish there, and so it all started because in the Northeast, the Irish wanted to show how they contributed to society there and to the community.
Yes.
So it was a celebration of the community workers, the firefighter and the police, and all the things that the Irish did. And so that's kind of how it started. So on St. Patrick's Day, probably a little bit of like what Ellen did that first day. They opened the doors and got in the streets and had a celebration, and that's how it all started. And now everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day now.
That's right. It's such a fun holiday, like in my opinion. I just love this time of the year, just super festive. It's just a good time, St. Patrick's Day. So I'm very excited to check it out. But I guess I don't know a whole lot about the history of St. Patrick's Day. And for any viewers who might be watching at home, who was really St. Patrick?
So St. Patrick was a priest in Ireland. He's actually was English, and he was captured by pirates in Ireland, and so he spent a lot of his time in Ireland. So he spread Christianity throughout Ireland. So you have the Shamrock, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and that's how he taught people about Christianity when he was in Ireland. And he's also famous for supposedly chasing the snakes out of Ireland. So,
Well, that's interesting.
so that's like the big joke is there's the cartoons that have him driving the snakes out of Ireland, and all the snakes are behind him. So that's kind of what the other thing that he's kind of known for, since there are no snakes there. They say, it had to have been St. Patrick, of course, that did that.
And that's why we wear green for the Shamrock.
Right.
The Father,
in
Son.
Ireland, yes. And he also, I was just about to say something about him. Oh, you're going to have to edit this part.
Oh, no, it's totally fine.
I know.
Totally.
I had another thought about him, but now I can't remember. But he's considered like the father of Ireland. So, and I was going to say he died on March 17th.
Oh.
So that's why St. Patrick's Day is that day.
Yes. Okay. Well, very interesting. What is y'all's ultimately your favorite thing about the holiday, St. Patrick's Day, and the celebration?
Well, for me, it's just seeing everybody have such a good time, and everybody gets along. We, as far as I can remember, we've never had any issues with people not getting along out there, and it's just a fun time. And even though it's a huge thing to pull together, it always works itself out, and that's what's fun to me.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a nice energy there
wonderful.
as we get ready to kick off. Like everybody's just having a really, really good time.
Yep.
So that always makes a smile, always puts a smile on our faces.
Yep.
Right.
Another part of the parade that was Ellen's tradition is she would always have a priest come and bless the parade before it happened. So we do something a little bit different now that we're downtown. The parade goes right by St. Mary's Church, and so the parade stops, and the Irish and American flags, there's a blessing there. So that's a popular place to see the parade. That place is always packed with people, so they can watch that blessing, and that's in honor of Ellen.
Yes.
She also started the tradition of having a parade queen, and so we have a queen and princesses now, or princes. We've had boys there as well, being part of the court, and so we do that every year. So that's a lot of fun to find people
cool.
in the community that contribute to what makes Huntsville great, and so. So that's really fun every year to find the people and they just have a good time with it as well. And, they get to do their wave in the parade.
That's right.
Wear a tiara and do all that. So it's really fun.
And our queen this year is Amber Schmidt, and I've talked to her recently, and she's really looking forward to it. She's got her green dress all picked out and everything.
That's right.
Yeah, we see lots of green dresses, and yeah, it's really great. And we have 4 princesses, two of them in high school and 2 of them in elementary school. And we put their bios on Facebook this morning, and if you go and read about them, they're just great young women that are going to do great things for our community someday. And Amber, of course, is a musician, and she performs around town, and is a wonderful artist. So yeah, all the great things that the Irish bring, they help do that for Huntsville as well.
Yes, I will definitely have to check it out and read all the bios this year for sure.
It's really great.
So talk a little about the society, the Irish Society of North Alabama. So it started in 2010 here?
2010, yes. It started, with all the people moving to Huntsville. We discovered that there's a lot of Irish musicians here, or people that play Irish music. And so we just decided to start an organization to help promote the Irish culture. UAH has that big international festival. And so we were at the first one, the Irish Society. It was the first thing we ever did was be there, and that's how we kind of found each other and met other people. That's how we met Sonny when he found us with Finnegan's and the Irish and the parade and everything. So it just kind of brings everyone together. We get calls sometimes from like schools and things that want to either they're looking for some Irish musicians or they want someone to come talk about Ireland and things like that. So it's just a nice way to promote the Irish culture.
Well, good deal. Absolutely. And then finally, what are you looking forward to the most for the parade this year?
Boy, I can't really think of any single thing. The whole day, the prep and the execution is all just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then relaxing afterward when you've pulled off another successful parade.
It is fun afterwards. It is fun when it's all done, yeah.
And then we'll be going to Straight to Ale. They're our primary sponsor.
Right.
And the official after party will be at Straight to Ale at Campus 805.
Yes, absolutely.
Straight to Ale has been supporting the parade, I think, since they opened. I think since they started, they've always been the biggest sponsor, the title sponsor. So they're the official after party. And the other thing we have is we have a grand marshal every year for the parade. And this year, it's not a person, it's a place. It's the Von Braun Center. They celebrate 50 years the day before the parade. Their 50th birthday is the day before the parade. And I mean, they're right there in downtown Huntsville, and all the things that they bring to Huntsville and this community just seemed kind of perfect to celebrate their birthday at this parade. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a win-win.
Sure.
For sure. Well, I believe, I want to ask about volunteers as well. If anyone's interested in volunteering for the parade, how can they go about doing that?
So the best way is to go to our Facebook page, Huntsville St. Patrick's Day, and just message us. That's really the primary way that we communicate all the stuff about the parade. And if people are looking for parking information and the parade route and all the timing and everything, that's all on the Facebook page as well. That seems to be the easiest way to get information out quickly.
Yes, absolutely. And then as well as joining the Irish Society as well.
Yes,
on Facebook as well.
There, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, I believe that's all the questions I have today. Thank you so much for coming in. And if you would like to add anything that maybe I didn't ask, please feel free. But once again, thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great.
I think you covered it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
To the Irish.
That's right. Got to wear the shamrock.
Yes.
I'll definitely be there.
Absolutely, yes.
100%.
Wear green and head downtown.